Alright, hey guys, it's James. I was the Sunday person, but, I've changed to the Tuesday person, so thanks to JJ. And a brief explanation of that is, I live here on campus, and I live in a private dorm, so the dorm is not affiliated with school, but anyway, I live with 3 other people, and, they are slobs, so I go home on the weekends now, and along with that, it just means that there's been a shift. Like, instead of doing my homework like on Friday, I don't do it until like Saturday and Sunday, so it just works out better if I do it on Tuesdays. So yeah, I'm gonna like try to cover all the topics that I missed, and the first one was trans people in the media. I don't know how I feel about that, I guess. I think that when we see trans people in the media, it's always like the stereotypical transsexual, and it's not necessarily anybody that's in the middle, that's like genderqueer, or that, perhaps somebody that doesn't want hormones or surgery. And it's usually always, male to female. And lately, like, Chaz Bono has come out, and that's cool, but that's good for him, but I don't particularly like that he kind of like appoints himself as the representative of F to M's. And the reason I don't like that is because, again, it's the stereotype that I never felt right as a girl, I never identified as a girl, and now I'm a man. And, if that's how you identify, that's awesome, good for you, but don't give the connotation that that's how I feel, because it's not how I feel. And I would also say that I would say that it's kind of ignorant to say that he's not in it for some kind of profit. If you've watched his documentary, you also know that, sadly enough, he doesn't talk to his mother, or vice versa. Actually, his mother doesn't really talk to him, and that he needed to borrow money for his top surgery. So, I don't know, but to each their own. I just don't like when people anoint themselves, the spokespersons for a group or something. So yeah, I think it's always the stereotype that gets represented in the media, or there's always like they always find like the one person that transitioned and then regretted it. I was watching like a Dateline something, and they had this story of like a guy that transitioned to a woman, then he transitioned back to a guy, and he goes on to say that, like, it was a mistake and blah blah blah. And I'm a psychology student, and I also have a lot of knowledge of the Benjamin standards of care, and from my own personal experience, I could tell just by his story that he wasn't trans, that he was more trying to fit in with a group. And so for him to kind of say that, it's kind of like, well, of course you think it's a bad idea because you're not trans, And I think, he leaves out a lot out of the story as to like what exactly he told his therapists and doctors, because, the reality is it's not very easy to get on hormones or even have surgery. So I think he's not telling us the whole story, and he's kind of trying to give trans people a bad name and a bad rap. So yeah, that's my viewpoint, is they always find an idiot. So I try not to pay attention to the media, and I would suggest, if you see anything like that, or another thing is, like, I watch a lot of like reality TV, and I was watching, like, it's kind of like Cops, and in Nevada or Las Vegas, and there's always like a tranny, and they like, first of all, it's always like, again, an M to F, and for some reason these policemen and women, they feel like they're being professional to the camera, and they're like, well, we don't know if it's, allowed to be in the cell with the, and they make themselves look so stupid, and I just can't watch it anymore, It's really sad. But anyway, the next topic was homophobia. I'm sorry, transphobia. I'm not sure whose video it was, but somebody said, they've experienced more homophobia than transphobia. And I would say that that's true for me as well. I think, yeah, because, I was only out as, like, lesbian for, like, maybe 6 weeks. And I just, that just wasn't me. But anyway, I don't think I made a very good lesbian. And I think I faced a lot more discrimination than I did when I was trans. I will say that, like, people stared at me more when I was transitioning because I was very androgynous. I was very much like, is that person a guy or girl, And I think that's to be expected, I was never accosted or harassed or assaulted or anything like that, so, and nobody ever said anything to my face. And I am very fortunate to have also transitioned, like I said, I don't want to say very quickly, but in a sense, within 2 months of starting T, I had changed my name and my gender marker. And so yeah, so I've never, my transition was literally like overnight, I never had to like look how I look now and then go to school as my birth name. So that's an experience I don't have. And I think therefore it's allowed me to be stealth more, which is probably why I haven't experienced much transphobia. What else? But I also think that, like, a lot of times it's all about your confidence. You can carry an attitude of, what, I know who I am, and I accept who I am, and I'm proud of that, and people don't really mess with you. Versus the opposite of, you can be like, oh my god, I'm trans, I'm gonna find out, and then, of course, you're already acting, suspiciously, so of course somebody's gonna say something. And that's not to discredit, other people's experiences with transphobia. So yeah, and I also think that, like, a lot of times trans people don't give cisgender people a chance. They walk into situations and expect to be, just treated badly, and that's not always the case, so like I said before, you could walk into a situation and expect to be treated badly, and you're giving the wrong vibes, and of course, the outcome is that you're treated badly. Or you could walk into a situation and be like, my gender has nothing to do with this, and the situation will go fine. I don't think we give cisgender people enough credit in terms of believing that they're all, transgender haters, and that they don't accept and they don't understand and they choose that. I think that's a lot of BS. Again, I'm not discrediting anybody's experiences with transphobia, but I also think that, like, a lot of it is imagined. So yeah, that's this video. I'm gonna try to keep it rather short, and then I'm gonna make my next video. So I'll see you guys in like 2 minutes. Bye.